So hello and good morning, and this is a fine winter morning. Last week was really cold. Today it's bright and sunny, and it's a Saturday morning. And welcome everybody, and thank you for sparing the time to be with us this Saturday sort of morning to attend this very important workshop on the topic of digital well-being in the era of fake news. And this is a workshop which is organized by La Polity, Department of Political Science, Kirori College. The whole idea of having this workshop is basically to reevaluate the technology's impact on mental and physical health of citizens. Technology, in fact, has become quite essential to the lifeline, and more so during the COVID-19 pandemic. And in last few months, many people are sort of discussing and talking about what is being talked of as Zoom fatigue, or do we need a digital detox, and what is the impact of us all being hooked on to these technologies, and from Zoom to social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. What is the deep impact which is happening not only at the personal level, but also the social, political, cultural aspects, how we are changing the society, which is driven by this very aggravated and aggressive interaction and interface with the technology that we are having every day. So we were already entered into the era of this kind of connectivity, but what COVID-19 has done in a way has sort of accelerated or speeded up this kind of integration. We had to do it whether we liked it or not. And that has had a deep impact. And today morning, as we gather, we are going to do this kind of self-introspection of how we can adopt certain checks or tools to manage this kind of relationship that we have entered into, so that we can use technology to our own advantage, rather than being seduced by the technology, rather than being what is known as addicted to technology. So it's a very pertinent, essential topic for all ages, but particularly the students, because invariably all the classes and all the interactions that they are having in the colleges are online. So I will assume that many of the students are spending about 8 to 9 to 10 hours hooked on to these technologies, whether it's taking online classes or being connected to their friends or family, etc. And that has led us to, and I'm using this term to sort of explain to you that people are talking of, is this an age of anxiety, of age of mental exhaustion, which is borne out by this kind of always on connectivity culture that we have entered into. In fact, daily we are hammered with this endless stream of content vying for our attention. It is commercial, but you would have seen it for yourself, that any kind of search triggers the content being available on our screens all the time. So it's that it also talks about how much privacy that we have, and how much exposed, and what is the digital footprint, and the content that we are leaving behind are all the matter of concerns which as a society, as the government and the policymakers and big tech giants need to do and think about, and what are the regulatory mechanisms that need to kickstart to check some of these, exploitative end of the technology. So Today morning when I woke up, I saw this spectacular, news about how Trump has been permanently banned from using Twitter and other, platforms. So it's amazing that how rapidly the technology can be used to spread this kind of incitement, rake up the emotions of the people from all political spectrums, from the left to the right, we can say that. And so how cautious we are, how can we build this kind of firewalls within our mindset to be able to sort of filter and check what we are exactly consuming. This kind of over exaggerated digital media usage has being talked about as what are the negative impact on the people, including what we call as informational overload, dangerous misinformation, and work-life imbalances that has created subsequently. So the association between the social media and the consumption and the mental health is actually not new, and has already been talked about, and a lot of research has gone into by the psychologists and sociologists who are studying about this interface between the technology and to the humans. And but even prior to the pandemic, but now the focus has become more pointed to this fact that what it is going to do, because the lockdown, which started in the early spring of 2019, both young people and adults, we all flocked to the social media almost non-stop, ceaselessly. So while it is important to stay up to date, have, being aware of what is existing in the social media, there is a positive content, information, knowledge available there. We need to sort of be aware of that. What are the implications of overconsumption of it? And another point that comes to my mind is about this kind of sensationalization and often the negative nature of the news headlines, the impact on one's psyche that results from consuming too much of damaging and the negative news is that it triggers this kind of what in psychology is known as flight or fight responses that impacts the brain chemistry and the mood almost instantly. And this compounded regularly with and over a very, very extended period, we're already into 1 year of this kind of hyper consumption and binging over the social media, which can lead to long-term symptoms, which often psychologists talk about is like symptoms like anxiety, isolation, depression, and general fatigue, which sets in. During the lockdown, I also came across this very, very sort of interesting term, which is infodemic. And infodemic is sort of a term which is blend of information and epidemic. And it typically refers to a very, very rapid and far-reaching spread of both accurate and inaccurate information. This also refers to kind of a plethora of information that spreads like wildfire through the digital communities. And so as consumers, we need to be aware about how much content we are consuming. But there's another element to it that we need to be able to have that faculty and ability to untangle or distangle the truth from the fake or fact from the fiction. There's another interesting data that comes to my mind is the data speaks about that in USA, almost 1 in 8 citizen or person can be termed as digital addict. So these are enormous number of people that we're talking about. I'm just quoting the data of USA, but believe me, if we tabulate the global data on it. We're going to have a huge number of people of all age groups, but particularly the young people who are hooked on to the social media, spending excessive amount of time, which is impacting their abilities, their work, their careers, their studies, and also sort of bringing in changes in their mindset. They're making them more violent, insensitive, so on and so forth. The debate can continue, discussion on these issues are very, very deep and significant, and it can go on. But to talk about it, and enlighten us and throw some insight into on this topic, we have with us today Mr. Rijal Arora. And Rijal, personally, went through this journey of being addicted to technology and then successfully coming out of it. And that's what is remarkable, because he's going to talk about it from his own personal narrative and story and journey, which makes it very, very convincing. And his whole mission is to sort of create this general awareness among the young that how you can use technology to their advantage. So technology is neutral. Technology is neither good and bad, but how you use it, employ the technology. You can employ it to your benefit, and you can, get inundated with this kind of, overwhelmed with this technology, and it can just, take you off track in a way. Mr. Rijal Arora is actually a tech person himself, because he works in building better working world through technology, and professionally he is working with Ernst Young as a consultant in digital and technology transformation practices, wherein he sort of helps clients in end-to-end technology transformation. And moreover, he also worked with leading educational institutions to devise this kind of digital transformation journey. He tries to spread this fundamental message of having healthy relationship with technology, and has been holding these kind of workshops in various schools and universities. Thank you, Mr. Rijal Arora, for sparing your time and agreeing to be with us and to talk to the students of Kirori College on this, of University of Delhi, on this very, very pertinent issue of digital well-being, and how to be aware consumers of digital information, and also be digitally aware citizens. So over to you, Rijal. Welcome once again on behalf of Law Polity, Department of Political Science. I welcome you. Thank you, Rijal.